Let's get out of here.
Fair enough. Oh, pick yourself up, hurry up. Look nasty. Is your horse alright?
Fucking kidding me.
Hop on.
What just happened?
Oh,
I don't know.
Whoa, whoa.
There's your horse. He's getting up.
Alright.
Like,
Where are we going?
slow up here. Alright. Bear in mind there are other strangers at the station, so we don't want to dawdle too long.
Fair
So we're
enough.
all here now.
Gentlemen, this is Riker Lundale, my associate I've been telling you so much about.
It is a pleasure to meet you folks, though I'm not sure who everyone is at the moment with masks and so on. I know I'll recognize the friend to the left here, but I don't know if we're going by names at the moment. I would recognize that voice.
I figured you would. We'll have a more in-depth conversation.
Well, I do look forward to that as well.
Yeah, but right now, priorities are a must. I think we all understand the right problem comes first.
I filled him in.
I agree.
Okay. So, the rundown is, first and foremost, we have an informant in the middle of Valentine who's going to keep us periodically updated as to whether or not the man we're looking for goes into town. Therefore, we're going to check the telegram office every now and then, not the town telegrams, but the station ones in between towns, nice and secluded like. Our job is to stick together, roll in force. If we come across any groups or groups of deputies, we tell them to go on their own merry way. If they insist on stopping us, we kill them. Now, that being said, we're going to search everything between here, there, and fucking everywhere until we find Mr. Nikolai. Every ranch, every homestead, every cabin in the woods, everything. Does anybody have any objections to that?
No, sirree. I have this feeling that builds up on me when I am betrayed, and I get very sick in the mind.
Yeah, you have a problem with betrayal, don't you? You've had it multiple times, hasn't it?
It has now, and I don't like that it's happened multiple times now. And this one was very stupid on the part of Nikolai. He should have known better. I don't think he was wise about this. Well, never wise about it.
Take him alive. Let him say his piece. And we ain't convinced by the end of it, which I very much doubt we will be. Leave it to me. You'll see some shit. Let me put it that way.
I do have one condition. I get his ear before you have your finish with him.
You're a little fetish for cutting up body parts that we will evidently address later, Riker. But he will become an example. You think it's just any of that? It's nothing. He will become a display.
Well, that's good to hear then.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we're all in agreement and that we're all here, I say we get started. So, I think the only real way we can go about doing this is by starting in one corner of the state and moving all the way down to the other far corner. I don't really see any other way about doing this. We're gonna have to divide up by district. We're all gonna stick together though. Once one district's all been covered, we move on to the next one. That
Works
sound
for
good
me.
to everybody?
Sounds like a good idea. I'm trying to think about, right now, since I worked with Nikolai for a while now, where would Nikolai go if I was a dirty rat?
Rosa suggested Van Horn.
Well, Van Horn knows is one of my favorite spots to go. So Van Horn might not be a right spot for him. Now, perhaps he knows we don't go down near New Austin very often. He knows we don't go to the far west very often. He knows we don't go near the canyons very often. He knows that we do go near lots of the region these part around us. So I'm giving us a good idea where to start first, perhaps.
As long as we do it.
I
There's no
very much
guarantee we're
doubt.
going to get them, but we don't stop until we do. And we'll just keep recycling people in and out and so forth until we actually get them. Just gotta know where to run, know where to hide. We will get them.
Well, I can say he will probably avoid West Elizabeth, Strawberry, Blackwater, everything up and down and in between. New Austin, New Hanover. I have a feeling he could be anywhere within that area. Ansburg, Valentine, Van Horn, every mountain, every wooded area, every lakeside cabin in between.
We need to make
Lemoyne,
telegram stops.
I very much doubt, but it's still possible.
We could rule out all the places that we've been with him because he's not going to go there. That means the Little Creek River. That means the campsite down south of Eastern Roads. Where else did we go, Riker? Aurora Basin. He won't be there anymore.
I say we save those for last, just in case he thinks we won't look there.
Save for last. I think we should probably avoid the very secluded areas for now, so we'll leave New Austin for near last, and we'll leave the mountains up to the very north for last
I
as well.
doubt he'll go near New Austin. He'll want the protection of the LEO.
Yep, agreed. He's turned himself in now, which means he knows that he's a dead man to us. The only people that are going to help him are his family and the LEOs. So I wouldn't even write off the towns if I were you. He might be using them as a refuge because he knows that a lot of us are, wanted men.
As for
Hard
some
to
of the
get to
other
them.
organizations he ratted on, offer them $1,000 to just hand them over. You don't need to go into any deep detail. Just say he's a rat and leave it at that.
Can we reach out to Mr. Black? Keep an eye between Valentine, Blackwater, and fucking, where else did he say?
That
Strawberry.
would be smart, yeah.
Yeah, do it.
We know he has a family as well.
Well, worst
Ex-fiance
case
and he
scenario,
has a
we
little
take
boy.
his family.
Yep.
Horse over to the left.
He'd be a fool to come near us.
But,
World's
if
full
we
of
can't find
fools.
him, we might have to draw him out with other means.
If the other means come to it, then we take his family and send him a telegram.
We know who his family are.
I'll have to spend some time remembering. Right now, my head's a bit foggy, but I remember who his old gang was, and they probably ain't too pleased with the fact that he's doing the train robbery since they're more of turf.
We're being spied on.
Let's move on
Three
then.
people being spied on. Where?
I could see something over
Alright. From here on out, aliases and voices.
That ain't but.
Yep.
there. You refer to me as Shuck. And don't talk like this.
My name is William DeVoe, by the way, everybody.
And I'm Roger O'Malley, Jarvis.
Roger.
You call me
O'Malley.
Roger.
Right, Roger. And that over there is Mary Sue. He's
Blonde
Russian,
fella,
he
tall.
stands out.
This is fucking
Bloody
Russian.
fucking hell.
Pretty.
Alright, where are we gonna begin?
Get a telegram to Mr. Black. We can fucking look out.
I'm gonna need to send telegrams too. I need to get one out to contact and tell them.
What, me? Or the boy?
You.
Alright,
I don't want
alright.
myself,
Yeah,
or
good
the
idea,
lady
okay.
here, to be going anywhere near a post office or a town.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's go. Let's fucking go to a different run. Alright,
We'll go to
let's
Van
not.
Horn.
Alright.
You fellas stay in the trees nearby. Shug, you're gonna come in with me very quick and do it. Right.
What's up, T-Bang? Welcome in, man. Nicholas is dead, man. T-Bang, I ended the series. If you didn't watch the end, that's probably your fault. We're doing an Outlaw series at the moment, then we'll have a new character after this one.
Trying to put a fight in me by putting that on?
Who's that going in down there?
I want to count 5 of us right now.
Must be him then.
Well, I must.
This one went up ahead into the post office.
Okay.
We're waiting here.
Well, I must say, what a weird world we're living for this to come full circle around to meet you again after all these months.
You two know each other?
Series of unfortunate events, we could say. We met
Wait, you
once.
two know each other?
Okay, fake voice thing. Yeah, we met once. Briefly. He wanted to do a little deal with me of keeping eyes and ears open and whatnot. And little did he know I had somewhat of an invested interest in the state myself at the time. And as he can probably see right now, I'm very, very busy in this unfortunate event right now could jeopardize that. On account of Nikolai. Anything else I can deal with. Anything else I can work with. But if he blabs and that gets to the wrong people, we stand to lose a lot.
Well, we will find Nikolai, and he will learn the error of his ways. I assume he's not, I assume he thinks you folks, for the most part, are good with him, or on his side for at least a tiny bit. I heard a little bit about what Mr. Baldy over there told me as well.
He's got to know he's a dead man. There's no use in assuming that he's got any more friends after what he did.
And both of you only understand a little bit of what we are. Honestly, there is a lot of us. Unfortunately, we all sleep at different times, so it's a bit of a juggle, as you can imagine.
Man, and I realize that I've only just scraped the top of the iceberg as well.
You're gonna find out. I don't know if you've been handed what you're supposed to yet, but there is a little gift for you.
Yep, I've got to give it to him still. I've got it,
Okay.
I think.
Read over it. I ain't gonna beat around the bush. You're both being scouted.
And that's what it sounded like from the beginning, from what I heard from your friends.
Yeah, but you and I have to go over a couple of things regarding some sloppy fucking shit.
I'm sure there's details we gotta work out. I understand that as well, so.
Oh yeah, you'll notice Scaffy is in fact missing a finger. I ordered that, and we'll go over the why of it soon.
I'll learn about that as well, and I'm sure we'll have a conversation about that very shortly as well.
We will, but let's get him first.
Telegram's been sent to Mr. Mason Black.
Alright.
Okay.
Do you want to go down?
I'm going down. Just keep an eye out.
Let him know to contact me. You know how to spell my name, right? Alright, good. We'll keep an eye out from here.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear about your finger there. Unfortunate.
Yes, most unfortunate. But necessary evils.
Let's go over our nicknames real quick one more time, because when I don't remember them, I'll just use vagaries until I remember them.
Alright,
Call me
I'm
lady,
Jarvis.
it's not really that hard. You're like fucking lady here.
Jarvis, Marisu, Baldy over there. You changed it up for a second.
Roger.
Roger, there we go. I thought you said something else for a moment. Roger, Jarvis, Marisu. All right then.
Not gonna lie, I'm more excited for this than a fucking hooker.
I'll do what needs to be done. Disappointed in him, as all.
I saw this coming a mile away.
Yep, I did as well. That's why I said as much when I first met Mr. Our companion over there. I warned him that Nikolai was a squealer.
It's unfortunate that I had maybe my slight doubts, but I figured he was smart enough to understand what he was dealing with.
We got a fucking issue. Bernard's fucking
American
passed
personal
out.
telegrams got a hell of a lot cheaper.
They did.
They did. Bernard's passed out. Fuck.
Yeah, he just fucking passed out over there.
What?
Might want to lay off the gum cocaine for a while then, I assume.
Alright,
Yeah.
let's go into the trees and wait
Yeah,
for
let's
him.
get into the fucking tree lines, wait for him.
can as long as the problem's resolved. I don't care who gets him as long as he's got. Him existing right now is problematic for everybody. It's not about pride or egos or who gets to cut off what or who gets to flex whichever dick as long as he's dead.
He's a ruthless little cunt, I'll give him that. But I've got no time for grasses.
Yeah, he thinks he is. He doesn't know the half of it.
I should
Get him. He's not gonna want me to get him. He's fucking not. I'll put it that way.
I should mention as well, if you do get him, be sure to take his machete from him as well, not just his guns. He is very, very talented with machete.
If I get him, I will take his face and pin it there as a symbol for being two-faced. Literally. That's not an exaggeration. That is exactly what I will do.
Well, that's a very good example, son.
It's not a degree I ever want to go down. It's not. I don't like it. I'm in this position right now, and I understand that the only reason that it is even a thing is because it's an accident. It's like I said, an unfortunate series of events, and now we're forced to adapt. We were going to reach out to you down the line. Scoped out once we know who was trustworthy and who wasn't. We work on an individual basis, not on entire groups. I'm sure you understand why we don't approach entire groups considering the risk involved, aka Nikolai.
Lots of mines, but Nikolai was never one of mine. He was always one of an associate who joined me on a job here and there as well.
That's a problem of outsourcing. Shit happens. We don't do it. You two are involved in this because I consider you under an acolyte basis. You might not know what that means yet, you might not really understand it, but I do. I want to see if you're trustworthy.
You want to see if we're worthy of your society here, and I understand that. I agree. I think this loose end needs to be dealt with very quickly as well. Despite my anger tendencies towards betrayal, as long as he is dead and he finds himself dead soon, I will be fine with that.
First things first, we're not a society. You go into a town or a city, that's a society. What we are is an order. We have a very real purpose. I don't know if either of you are going to fit in with that purpose or not yet. That's why we have a lot of get to know to do. But we'll get to that after you read those manuscripts and have a long, in-depth conversation. I also want to go over the sloppiness of that kidnapping, particularly about how it was handled in the aftermath. You must be very curious why I had her finger taken.
I'm not curious at all, but I do have my own assumptions as well. Well, one thing when it comes to jobs, by the way, plan for them to fail. They tend to always go around one way or another in small details, sometimes big details, but this is how it is. And you prepare for next time as you go on. And we've, for the most part, have never had our contact in a long time, and we operated differently than you would assume we do.
Okay, you've got my curiosity then, since you put yourself on the spot. If you're not curious, why did I have it removed?
Well, Mr. Baldy over here, Roger, told me why, but I think you probably could have had more options than removing it. There's different stories you could spin, of course, but you chose the most brutal, of course, which does make a point I can see as well.
It prevents questions. What we do is going to have future events. This was just eliminating a question down the line that could lead to jeopardizing the fine lady here. Caution.
They could have assumed us to be weak in the stomach or not willing to do it because of treason and so on, harming her, sending parts back, things like that.
I did it to protect her. And you might not understand that, but that is exactly why I had it done. Because of future events. I see 4, 5, maybe 6 steps ahead. I had to consider it. I didn't like doing it, I didn't enjoy doing it, and I would never have did it if the 7th finger wasn't sent to begin with. At that point, I was pushed.
I know you're a smart man, and I know that you probably realize you always had you have many options, and if this you assume to be the best option, then fair enough. I'm not one to judge. It's your choice to make there.
It eliminated questions. Nothing more, nothing less.
You also know before this, I don't know you. I don't know what page you would be on or what my thoughts to your thoughts would be. So this is all circumstance as well, you're aware of course.
Alright, let's get a fucking move on. Let's get looking for this sneaky fucking
Yeah.
Russian.
Business first, huh? Let's go get
Right.
him.
Yeah, fucking. Let's go fucking Ansburg, check around fucking Ansburg, you know, the cabin, the watchtower, those fucking places, and then we'll go from there. Let's avoid the actual fucking...
Sure that ain't just a yokel. Alright. Alright then.
What you do with him is your business, but I will say he has given me information on the Men of Mayhem and has been cooperative. Maybe it's worth consideration, though. Again, what you do doing is up to you. Alright.
We'll get him out of your hair. I suppose no conflict. follow me. I'm just gonna write it down real quick. Okay, let's go. Here we are.
Well, I haven't been here in a long time.
Whatever happens from here, out of our
Okay. Well, actually, I have a myriad of questions, but let me address the first and foremost. Why? Why, after all we did, all the promises I made to you in terms of protection, services in the future, a place with all this, the money that you made, and the promise of more, why throw it all away? Why turn yourself in? Why turn all of us in? What was the reason behind it, Nikolai?
Well, Mason Black came to the homestead I was at, and he noticed me and he said, "Why did Catherine Moore, a friend of mine, get kidnapped and have a finger taken?" And he pointed the weapon at me. And he asked me who did it. He was about to put a bullet in me, so he gave Mason Black your name, Ivan. And so Mason Black left. And after, the Colts wanted to know everything of my dirty laundry. He basically said if I kept lying, they were going to, well, deal with me accordingly. And I kept telling them that I'm not supposed to say this or I will die. And I kept insisting. And so I told the Colts everything that I did know. I told them that I kidnapped the judge and they wanted me to turn myself in because of what I got involved with and what I did. And so they forcibly took me to the sheriff's office and made me say that I kidnapped the judge. And I was the one who was involved with cutting off her finger. And the deputies were asking me questions about who and where and what. They asked me where. I didn't give any specific locations. They said I took her to around the Ansburg area. And they were asking who and what were involved with. One of them asked, was Riker involved? And I said, yes. And he said he knew that, this deputy said he knew that the Silver Bastards were involved in this as well. And they asked if we use any aliases of Carson Luthor and all that, and I said, no, I don't remember. I don't recall using any nicknames or anything. Catherine Moore was obviously there, and you probably know. I could have told them everything that I knew about all of you, every single name. I could have said every single little thing that we did, where we took her, what the plan was, but I didn't.
You know, this is a problem when you hop from gang to gang. Everyone wants their secrets spilled. You started with Big's crew, you rolled with us, now you're rolling with the Colts.
Biggs left because of a circumstance that will made
It doesn't
the
matter
state.
why he left. The point is, you went from gang to gang, each one requiring absolute loyalty. And absolute loyalty involves spilling all the shit you did before. Which is why you fucking spilt the shit that you did with us. You're basically no more than a whore.
Just one quick thing before we continue. Sit and stay sat. Carry on.
I've said my piece for now.
You have anything else to add to that, Bernard?
Which names did you give to the deputies?
Riker, that's it.
They didn't ask for more.
They did, but I didn't give them.
How did you avoid the noose?
I didn't really avoid it. Catherine was there, and the deputy said she didn't really want to get involved with it since she was the victim. Apparently there's no prosecution because I was a first-time offender of treason. The sheriff was there. If he was there, he would have pressed for it, but he wasn't. I mean, they gave me the benefit of the doubt because I turned myself in for treason, and no one ever does that.
Yep, it was pretty fucking stupid, I'll give you that.
Well, it was either that or the Colts would get information out of me.
The way I see it is that you've tied your own noose around your own neck with the people you associate yourself with around this country here.
I heard a whole
Yokels do come up this way, just a heads up.
When it's raining, they do ride fast as well.
You realise if you have any friends that come after you, you are a fucking dead man, right?
They won't come after me. The only friends I have gave me up willingly.
This is what happens when
Because they
you've got
don't
no
want
aspect
anything.
of loyalty, mate.
They don't want anything to do with my past shit.
Now, before I take over here, I'm going to extend a little bit of a courtesy here to yourself, Riker. I'm sure you've got a few things you'd like to say.
I much appreciate that as well. Now, Nikolai, I've given you plenty of offers to work with me directly. And forsake those others, I even made very aware points saying probably this might be a good idea if you were to join Municipal Bastards. Maybe get yourself unaffiliated to others. But I cannot be friends and associate of a man who turns himself in not only once, but twice, and who knows how many other times.
I was going to get killed if I didn't.
There's
And you know
always a
that's
choice.
fucking pact that we all made. No deals, no names.
I didn't make a deal. I turned myself in. I didn't give any names. I already knew Rikers. And they said yes, he was.
I'm interested to know what you meant with your little comment to the judge while you were in the cells. I'm interested to know what you meant by that, because the way it's been told to me, that very much sounded like an implied threat towards me.
It was no threat. It was just that it was, well, interesting to see her there again and was just saying hello.
What did he say to the judge?
I actually don't remember.
I'm sure she can recount events.
Might have been something along the lines of, you know things.
Oh boy.
You really
I
are
mean,
the
I didn't
sharpest
say
tool in the shed,
anything,
are
did
you?
I? I didn't say
Nah,
anything
but
to him.
you
That
know,
was actually quite a lie, wasn't it? You said you didn't rat anything out, yet here you
Just
say
Riker.
you
I
did.
said Riker. That's it.
To the deputies. What about the coats you just said?
Well, the Colts, I told them everything, but they don't
Exactly.
spread shit.
You think that's not being a fucking rat?
Well, it is. But I told people that I know they don't rat out their own. They
We're
don't
not
spread
their
shit.
own. You're not their own.
What they think of me as family.
Isn't that sweet?
Ethan Colt himself told me that this is none of their business. Go solve this on your own, Nikolai. Go solve this on your own, and once it's solved, you can come back.
Newsflash, we're going to be solving it.
Has everybody said their piece?
Yep.
Or can I? Okay, right, fantastic.
Have the floor.
Wow, excuse me. Dragon from me. Alrighty. You know who I am?
Pretty sure I do.
You did, okay. That's the problem. Yeah, you see. You knew of us. You see, no one knew of our existence until you. Can you understand why I'm going to have a problem with that?
I do, because it's a liability.
It's a very big fucking liability, actually, especially for what we do, seeing as it's so fucking intricate. Any little misplace here or there can bring so much tumbling down, which leaves you, sir, in a very unfortunate position. Now, I know already you did not speak to any of the LEOs. We have that power. We can check. We can verify. We know. However, I do know you've slipped up on 3 separate occasions to some of our more trusted associates who will go unnamed. Let you spin your head on that little mystery. Which brings us to why we're here. My friend here to my left made you some offers. Little insurance clause and whatnot, and yet you still felt the need to flap your fucking gums, didn't ya? Which brings me here, dressed up like it's fucking Halloween, just for you. Little special. You. You get to convince me now, and you have a very short window of opportunity as to why I shouldn't decorate this festive little environment we're in with your blood.
You know, I didn't tell the LEOs anything, and I told
You
the Colt.
know we did not want our names out there. You know we didn't want the fact we exist out there. But you did it anyway.
Well, they don't
So
know
let's
that
start
Riker's
from there.
involved. They don't know that Riker's involved in any of this. They just think he's a silver bastard who robs banks and whatnot.
He's not. Let me explain something to you. Our involvement was due to a series of unfortunate events. You kidnapped one of us. Just so happens a couple of ours had infiltrated them to scope them out, to see if they were going to be worth our time. It's the only saving grace as to why it didn't go as far as it did. If you're wondering why Catherine's missing a finger, I ordered that. Me. I did that.
I thought so.
To protect her from future problems and questions arising, given the nature of what we do. Such things as, why did they get her special treatment would arise. They'd piece it together. In my mind, it's a small sacrifice. tiny one. I still hated doing it, but I did it nonetheless. So did she willingly. She understands that. That is the length we are willing to go amongst ourselves. Now, can you imagine what we do to an enemy?
I can definitely imagine what you do.
Yeah, I bet you can. I could go a lot deeper and darker than this. I know about your family, but that's a little bit further than I'd like to go since I have you here all snug as a bug. So again, you get to convince me why I do not paint these walls with your blood.
Well, I told the cults everything, but the thing is, they know that you are going to be taking me. They know that they're probably after me.
Do they know any of our names, who we are, anything of that nature?
They do. But I talked to the cults, and I told them not to say anything about it, and it stays just in the circle. Because I know that they don't spread shit, and they don't talk about shit in public. They keep things private.
Let me ask you a question, Nikolai. The cults, are they people?
What do you mean, are they people? Of course they are.
Are they people? Yes, they are. People talk. They may say they don't, but as you have so aptly demonstrated, they do. And there are plenty of people out there that we've met in the past that have told us they won't, yet they still do. Now I want you to take a very hard look around. Take everything in, not at us, but the room, everything in it, everything that could be used, not for its intended purpose, but for us to use on you.
And let me add to that. You sit here and say that you don't talk. You wouldn't talk. You even fucking told me in that cell that you didn't say anything. Yet you did.
I meant towards the deputies.
Liar.
I meant towards the deputies.
Hands on fire.
I meant towards the deputies.
Doesn't matter how you meant it. We were very fucking clear, were we not, that you were to keep your mouth shut?
Ivan here, I figure, befriended you somewhat. So what you did with him I'd consider to be rather two-faced. These gentlemen here beside me, they befriended you. I'd also consider that rather two-faced. And me, personally, although you don't really know me all that well, I'm a big believer in symbolism. I believe in examples. I believe in serving them. And if it's too late and we're already out there, then all that's really left to do is paint an example of what happens when gums are flapping.
But they would know who did it to me, and they would know.
Then they look. Here, you know what happens. You know what happens. We're already jeopardized. Yeah, she'll lose her job. I lose my job. Blah 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 blah. We just replace those positions with other fucking people. That's literally what we do. Our outlaw side gets a big fattening up. That's what happens. And then we replace those positions so we can continue on our merry little fucking way. We become more dangerous. Do you understand that? Far more fucking dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So how would I go about serving an example to the rest of the people? Well, I think I would make somewhat of an artistic display. A couple of things come to mind for the two-faced. I make an incision at the top of your brow, right around the hairline, with the knife. I cut down your cheek, under your chin, all around, big circle. put a cloth over your face, you won't be able to see what's coming yet, but you'll listen to it as the water is boiling. And then I'll waterboard you with that boiling water until the skin cauterizes and starts to peel. And then I'll simply rip your face off. I think that's symbolism for Two-Face, don't you? What do you think? We have absolutely no insurance that this is going to go further. Personally, I would have loved to have worked with you. I really would, but you're a mouthy little bastard that can't fucking help yourself. We gain nothing out of letting you live. Nothing. And to be honest, seeing as I'm now in this position, I feel like I've got the life back in my blood again. It's been so fucking long that I've had to be a good boy. Check that out.
It's nothing, just the water squeaking.
No one associated should come. Not crying. I thought I would get to see my unborn child from my ex-fiance, but like...
You should have
It's
thought of
just
that
so
before you
much
blabbed.
more important for you to be the big man and try to take down the baddies.
I wasn't
Wasn't it?
trying to take you down at all. I was just letting them know just in case people came.
Oh, saving your ass.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious actually, because here's the thing, right? I want to play a little game. I want to just test you just a little smidgen here. Now, keep in mind before I start this little game, I already know exactly what you've said to people. I do. There's been snitching on the snitch. You see what I mean here? So I'm going to give you the opportunity to just say for the class exactly what you said to whoever you met. And if you miss even one person out that I know of, I'll kill you. Go ahead.
Some of them I might forget.
That's a pity then, isn't it? You better start thinking real fucking quick. Because here's a problem. If you even forget who the fuck you're talking to, how can we trust you?
Nikolai, tears do not suit you. You fought in a civil war. Come on now, be a man.
There's another thing I wanted to ask before you play this little game. What is it that the cults had that we didn't? Huh? I mean, you seem to, you know, hop along from gang to gang to gang when it suits you. Why? What stops you from staying with one group of people, keeping their secrets? What is it that the cults offered you that we couldn't?
Well, they had the woman children that they wanted to protect, and they had some goodness in their hearts that I could tell that they weren't people that just rob and steal for no reason. They actually have morals that if a man doesn't have a warrant, then he doesn't have anything.
You think we don't? I'm not talking about them, by the way, friends and silver bastards. I'm talking about us. I suppose right now you think we're evil, don't you? Does it have to be so black and white?
Not really, but I was kinda done with the robbing and causing a shit ton of chaos.
Let me tell you the way you leave that lifestyle. You don't go to the law. You don't tell your friends you disappear. You ride off and you start a new life in a different state. As simple as that. You don't step on anybody's heels then.
You think we couldn't have protected your kid? Us, or this group of people that we're with right now? You think that Coulter could have done a better job than us? We had your back, mate. We had your back from day one.
I don't understand his logic, honestly, because here's the thing. The Colts are another outlaw band out there. But you became aware of us. You don't know our name or anything like that, but you know enough to know how far our reach extends. You know what we can do. You don't know what we're about, but you understand we're very fucking dangerous. Why not lean on that a little? Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you immediately piss us off instead?
Wanna know why I really joined the cults? I had a friend named Deacon Shaw that was making relations with him, and he was a friend of mine. I thought, you know, a friend of mine would probably be the best bet. I had no intention of saying anything about you all, but my hand was forced to do so.
You could have lied.
You're very good at that, apparently.
I tried the best I could, but when I had the pistol pointed to my head, I didn't want to die.
Your best wasn't good enough.
I bet you're really missing that pistol at the back of your head right now. That'd be a fucking mercy compared to what I'm planning. Because I believe in show and tell. I'm not a bad man. I'm not a good man either. Now what I am is necessary, and as necessary, I understand that sometimes extremes must be taken, especially with examples.
Yeah, I have to go to sleep. I know this is a bad time, but...
That's okay. We can ponder the possibilities.
We can.
Let him have one last rest.
Not going
We'll
anywhere.
debate it. We will debate it. And I'm going to be honest here with you, Nikolai. You've not exactly given us much to fucking go on here. You've not given us a lot of faith. You're just a mumbling sack of pathetic fucking mess right now, quite frankly. There is no incentive for us to keep you alive. But nonetheless, we're going to talk about it whilst you have your beauty sleep.
How long are you going to be sleeping?
Till the upcoming storm.
Alright.
Fine.
You have
hour,
your
then.
little rest.
That's cool.
It's a lot of horses.
Might be a wild one.
Yeah, wild horses. It's alright, they've been there for a long time.
Go on, darling. Have your rest. We'll watch over you.
While you're at it, would you like me to make your last meal as well? Give you a cigar, perhaps?
Oh, you're so nice.
So I got an idea. How about you spend a little bit of a duration thinking about exactly how you're going to stop us fucking killing it. That gives you the time. Whether you sleep or not, it's up to you. You can lay there with your eyes closed thinking for all I give a fucking shit. But this, and I must stress evidently, is your last chance. If you cannot pacify us, we're killing you.
Alright.
Painfully.
So, night-night.
Alright.
Johnny, by any chance, you got a cigarette?
Yeah, you need one, or is it
Ah.
for him?
Well, me. Of course.
He was enjoying that a lot.
There you go.
Well,
Much appreciated.
no one can say I didn't fucking give him a say. I clearly did. It's just he's not fucking satisfied me. And I'll be honest, if he doesn't preach some bitching fucking wisdom when he wakes up from his little slumber party here, yeah, it's gonna get medieval.
He needs to die.
The way I see it is he's taught himself his own noose. He thought he was doing the right thing here. He thought he was doing the right thing there. He got his legs tangled with some rope, kept it tangling, kept it winding. Didn't realize everybody was talking to how they were involved. He was short-sighted that way. And now he cannot pull himself out because he knows too much about everybody in this room.
Fucking liability, regardless of how you look at it. And I'm sorry, but I did a little bit of research. And I know he has a history of twisting stories and words, anything like a little slivering serpent to try and make ends meet. That has to stop. We can't trust him anymore. To leave him alive would be a bigger liability and a problem than killing him. I'd rather deal with the cults with him dead than deal with the cults with him alive. That's how far it's went.
We've got everything out of him as to who he told and what he told, so we have enough to go off of to prepare ourselves.
He's also just fucking reckless. I tell you, he was robbing fucking banks the day after we let the judge go.
He was doing it while I was asleep.
Yeah. I asked him what the fuck he was thinking.
He was already
And he got
doing
caught
so.
as well.
Oh, did he? Nice.
He got caught robbing a bank, and luckily, whoever fucking arrested him was incompetent as shit and didn't read any reports on him. Because if they had checked his fucking record, they would have linked him with you.
That's the only reason he escaped the noose. They're very incompetent. And him saying that I didn't want to charge him? That's fucking corruption. I can't. I have to recuse myself. A judge cannot sentence the kidnappers.
Yes.
For crying out fucking loud. The incompetence in this state is ridiculous.
I kind of like, with me in my position, I can't really get involved either because conflict of interest.
Well, then it's settled then. He dies. Unless he comes up with some sort of trump card, which I sincerely fucking doubt. He could barely get a word out of his mouth.
Well, let me explain something so you understand exactly where I come from. I actually hate killing people. I do. I believe it's wasteful. Killing people gets you absolutely nothing out of it. I reserve that shit for extreme measures, like here and now, and him. It takes a lot to get that attention from me. A hell of a lot. So do not think badly.
Bring you out, too.
And at this stage, due to the fact that other people know it's really true what I say, fear is a fantastic motivator. So I will quite literally decorate this room with his body parts.
I do appreciate your sentiment with making a point. I understand that very much well myself, and I admire that in you.
It's not something I enjoy, but it is something that is necessary. Besides, I'm an artist. You gotta try and at least enjoy your work a little bit, even if you don't.
What bothers me is the fact that he thought telling the Colts wasn't as bad as telling the deputies. In my eyes, it's just as fucking bad, because as Ivan rightly said, people fucking talk.
We didn't want anyone to know about it. So here's the thing, we approach people on an individual basis after we scope them out after a lengthy period of time. So we know if they're capable or we know if they're a complete fucking moron. We do not want entire organizations being aware of our existence because of shit like this. Unfortunately, as you well know, this was due to a circumstance. You wouldn't even know of our existence were it not for the fact you abducted the Catherine here. And I wouldn't hold it against you, as you see. We do have an outlaw branch as well. I understand full well the needs for hostages and shit, so it was unfortunate. I do have problems with the cutting on body parts of innocent people, though, because that usually attracts the sort of attention you do not want. It is better to make friends with certain individuals. Fuck the law. Fuck the law, period. Christ, I'm a goddamn alien, and I'm telling you that. Fuck the law. But everyone else, sometimes you gotta play the role of a politician. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. So I do draw a line at sending severed fucking parts. To prove you're serious, you don't need to do that shit.
Well, I do look forward to our conversation while I look at the papers, and we can come to I guess, an understanding of the way you run things as well. For me, you were not even on my, as you know, you weren't on my scope for a long time, and I've always operated on my own. But I'm definitely really interested in where this might go in your future as well.
As it stands right now, whether you realize it or not, we consider you an acolyte. I'm sure you understand betrayal will mean your own death.
I understand.
Okay, I'm glad we have that out there. And I trust you're a man that will take this completely seriously. We do have a purpose. We ain't exactly going out there just fucking up shit. It's a very good purpose. It's meaningful.
Well, I look to learn more, and I can't wait to see what we figure out then. Until then, let's finish this job here. We can enjoy ourselves, maybe a cigar and a beer while we go over.
We'll give him an hour. For now, I'll explain a little tiny bit. When you read over those manuscripts, mark my fucking words, it will be like I'm reaching into your skull and pulling out your brain and showing it to you. That is pretty much how it's going to go. I guarantee it.
Are you telling me that I'll need to take peyote while reading these manuscripts?
No, nothing like that at all. All I'm doing is saying what other people are afraid to say, even though it is the truth. It's that simple. I believe in embracing your darkness and your bright side, both of them, bringing them into balance. Awareness is the key. We simply are what we are. By negating these truths, we actually weaken ourselves as a species. That's the truth. Take a look at the law. Every day, more laws get pressed on further and further. People get hammered down and hammered down into complete pacifism. Now, what happens? It's kind of like.
Huh?
Seems like he's still on his mind there for a second.
Yeah. What happened? Oh dear.
You may have realized something you might be thinking. Give it a minute.
Alright.
I wasn't talking about him, I was talking about... What's his face?
Well, he, I
Felix
think got himself a little bit excited last night. Maybe the dry heat is, getting to his allergies. It happens, unfortunately.
So is he coming back, or what? Is he waking up? What's going on?
He's going to need a longer rest, I think. If he wakes up, we can include him, but, I think we're going to press on without, right, boys?
Yeah, unfortunate for him, but before we press on, I'd like to take something from Nikolai here. That will be all right with everybody.
Now, I believe we will allow him to present his case first.
That's right, we
As
let
we
him
discussed.
sleep on it, and, he does have the right to his last defense.
That's
So-
why I want the other fella here, so we can, you know...
Oh, we are more than capable of handling this matter.
I know you're capable, it's just... You know, I feel like... You should at least get to tell the fella who's, you know, giving the sentence down his last fucking words. They are to be them.
It may not be able to happen though.
Yes, but at the same time, the doctor's mind and my own are one. And
Alright.
us three over here will make the majority vote. Right?
I'm not voting against it, I'm just saying.
You don't get a vote.
I-
Sorry, you're
I-
our guest too.
I understand what you're saying, Johnny. I understand, but I think he's having a hard time with his allergies, like Catherine said.
It happens to him often, it honestly does, but I can assure you, him and I are of one mind. It's kind of uncanny, is it not, how alike we are?
Alright then, we'll see what he has to say.
The floor is yours, darling. That doesn't mean stand up, though, but state your case.
I know. Well, I'm going to start from the beginning with the train robbery that happened. I didn't rat anybody out or anything. They already knew both their names already from the train robbery. I was going to spend the rest of my life in prison. Only gave them their last names. They already knew your first names. They already knew descriptions of you already. As they did hear us say our, well, actual names in front of them on the train. A few of us did misspoke, and, well, I did get found. I don't know how the fuck they found me all the way up there so quickly. And, well, it wasn't my intention to rat anybody out, and I didn't give them any names until they actually mentioned names and wanted the last name. I know no deals or anything like that, but for a train robbery, I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life in prison, rotting away. And now on to, well, unfortunately kidnapping Miss Mora over here. Honestly, it was a pretty shitty situation, and we kind of improvised, and I could have ran away. I could have just left right there at the carriage and left you on your own and did that. But I stuck through all of it with you two and go to somewhere else and say, oh, they're here. They got the judge hostage. I didn't turn anybody in. I could have ran away and told someone everything. I had full chance to, but I didn't. I know what would happen.
You know what the problem with that is you stuck with us on the job when it was safe to do so. But as soon as your
Would
life
rather
was on
me
the line,
leave?
no, I expected you to stay. You were fully in on the job when you were a part of it. You had no hesitancy about it.
And it got really complicated when Ivan showed up.
It did. You're right,
I'm
it
not going
did.
to lie, it got really complicated.
It did indeed.
And it didn't go as
However,
planned at all.
if I didn't show up, I can assure you that none of us would be having this conversation right now.
Me,
None of
Riker, and
you will be given the opportunity to defend yourselves.
we
All
would
of
have been
you.
dead.
All three of you, and I very much hate to tell you this, would be splayed out in pieces for all that red for the crows to feast upon.
My problem is,
We're
mate.
very, very
Hmm.
fortunate that you and your associate here ran into me that night. You were very fortunate that Shiv ran into Riker that day. You have been very, very fortunate thus far.
I know.
And all you needed to do to remain fortunate, to remain in our good graces, was to tell a little white lie to the Colts as to the identities of the people responsible for what happened, which you seemed incapable of
The
doing.
only reason I did that, I didn't say anything before about anything until Mason Black looked at me, pointed a gun in my face, and said, "Tell me these things or you fucking die." I'm not going to lie, I panicked a little bit because he was going to shoot me in the face and kill me. I did say your name to him, and they already heard that name and they were already curious. And they said if I keep lying to them and don't tell them what else they need to say, they were most likely probably going to kill me.
Then make up names.
I know I
Here's the
really should have
thing,
made up names.
You're a
darling.
fucking
But
outlaw.
I told Mason Black, isn't he involved with you all?
No.
Well, he
Take
did
a
the
look,
bidding.
darling.
I
Take a
know
look.
that wasn't my idea, and you know that.
Listen, darling. I chose to have my left pinky removed from my body in the chance someone might hear about us. Consider that. I didn't have a gun pointed in my face. I didn't have anyone threatening me. I chose to do this. This is what we're fucking about. It's deeper than any of us. It's not some petty little thing. You really think someone is going to have their fucking finger removed and the shit beat out of them? For what? For fun?
No, I definitely do not think it's for fun.
I would like to hope so. You don't think that my life isn't on the line if I get discovered?
No.
And I decide to keep my mouth shut about it all. You're weak. Very weak.
They forced my hand. What was I supposed to do? Just take a bullet and that's it?
Did anyone force my hand?
Bluff! Lie! Do something! Think! Use your goddamn head!
Or
Don't
just
be
keep
a...
your fucking mouth shut.
Exactly!
Obvious when I lie. He would have just shot me.
Again, keep your fucking mouth shut.
And I was
There's
forced to
many
turn myself
options.
in. I didn't want to. I really didn't. At all. They forced my fucking hand, and yes,
You squealed.
I did. To the Colts. The Colts aren't... I know you say people talk. The Colts do not talk if it's not their business. They don't give a fuck.
If
They let
they're
me deal with it on my own. It's not
We
their
will
business.
deal with that matter. Right now, we're
Colts
talking
are
about
fucking-
you.
if the Colts are facing the noose, they're gonna give names to get away from that noose.
They're not
And
going
you
to
gave
use
them
me
our
in the
names.
noose.
You did so. You just said it. You were facing a bullet face, your own
From them.
mortality.
They aren't
And
facing
you
anything.
could not handle that.
What are we supposed to do with a fucking outlaw that squeals at the first time as intimidation? That's my problem, mate. You spilled the beans and you didn't stop spilling when you had the chance. You could have told a lie here, a lie there, just enough truth to get by without getting shot. You told him everything.
One thing I don't think you've ever considered. Do you know why I've given information to certain people about my kidnappers?
Not really. I was wondering why Mason really knew a tall Russian with blonde hair.
Yes, it's because I'm a judge and you're a criminal. We
I
each
know.
have a part to play, right?
But I never used a Russian voice, though. That's the thing. I
There's
used a British voice. They didn't even know it was me until someone was told it was a tall Russian man with blonde hair. I didn't
There's
say anything
little
up until Mason came to me.
discrepancies in all the information that was given. The reports themselves say that you all mixed up your accents very much, which you did. Mixed up your outfits quite a bit, which you did, right? So all you have to do is ask how they know this information. If it comes from me, you play dumb. You play, you act. That's what we all do. If we see each other, we don't even know each other, depending on the situation. We all have a part to play, and we play them very well, which is why you didn't even know who you were blabbing to when you were blabbing to them. And the information still got back to us. Did it?
Now, Johnny boy, how many times have you had a gun waved in your face and you didn't break the beans? How many times have I had a gun waved in my face and I lied and I scammed my way out of it?
I've only done it once with a gun pointed to my head. That was the only time I spilled the beans.
Except when you turned yourself in and gave names. You turned yourself in
I
willingly.
didn't give any names.
You gave Riker's name.
They don't know that
Told-
he's associated with any of you. They don't know that at
And
all.
for the
Okay.
train robbery, you gave names there. And although you say they pressed you, they
They said,
and
"What
it
is
was
Riker's last name?"
and you gave it.
Only Riker's, not Johnny's, because I literally don't know Johnny's last name.
Do you not see what we see in this
I
information?
I do.
A weak link who will shatter at the slightest tremble, who's unable to hold his own bollocks. Do you even have any?
I mean, telling the truth isn't easy. I didn't want to at all. I knew very well you'd probably come after me and kill me, and I told them multiple times.
And you're not good at lying either, darling.
I'm good at telling the truth.
Yeah.
That's not
Unfortunately.
exactly a good trait for a fucking outlaw, is it?
But
What I was about to say.
What would killing me change? The courts would what? They would probably what? Come after you after
It
they know
doesn't
that I
change
got fucked up
anything.
this bad?
Doesn't change
It
anything.
kinda does. Do you really want to have to deal with the courts and all that?
Are you trying to leverage a threat against
I'm
us,
not
darling?
threatening you.
No,
I'm
I know
trying
what
to
he's trying
prevent
to say.
something.
Oh, I know
don't
what he's
want
trying
them
to
to come
say.
after all of you.
But
I
I'm
don't
pretty
want them to get hurt.
certain the doctor has already said that he doesn't give a flying fuck because we can handle that, just like we're handling you.
They're most likely going to talk if you will do things to me, and they're 100% probably not going to talk if you don't do anything to me.
Didn't you
Nikolai.
tell me that the cults told you that this is your own mess? You've
Exactly.
got to deal with?
They did, and I could come back whenever I dealt with it.
And if
They
you
don't
don't deal
want
with
to be
it,
involved. Why would they squeal? That doesn't make sense, you know.
they don't want to be involved in your dead either, I'll assume as well.
Why would they squeal? That would get them involved, you see. Doesn't that make sense? It gets them involved if they do tell anybody. They don't tell people they don't want to be involved. They already got Ruby and Ethan almost got killed by some men of mayhem, which I gave all the information to Mason Black.
Good, then we can do what we need to with that. And the fact that you had information and you didn't give it beforehand, well, I'm sure the Colts will
I
certainly
just
not
got
like that.
it. No, the Colts gave it to me. It's
Oh,
part
but
of the
you
Colts
know,
information.
it just depends on how we twist that little tail, isn't it?
Nikolai, you have proven yourself unreliable and untruthful as well. And there's no
I told
way
the truth here. I'm not untruthful. I told the full truth here.
you would hear yourself speak.
After prodding and after poking and after putting holes in your story, yes, we do get to the truth, don't we?
I only ratted because of Mason Black. He pointed a gun to me. That's the only reason that I even ratted in the first place at all.
Listen to me. I'm pointing a gun at you. Do you remember what I told you a while ago?
Mm-hmm.
What would happen to you if you said the wrong thing to the wrong people?
Mm-hmm.
Just like you, I'm a man who's very good at telling the truth. I am a very honest individual, and I meant every word of what I said. What we're gonna do with you now is just me living up to my word. Mr. Racker, you have
You
something
really
you wanna
want the
take,
Colts
you
to
go
come after
ahead
you?
and you do your thing.
You really want them to come after you? Is that smart?
Don't worry about the Colts. Do you want this cigarette before we proceed? Give one final decency. You're probably gonna need it.
Give him the cigarette. He's gonna need the pain reduction anyways.
No, I'll take the full
Well,
What does
I'm
it
gonna
hurt?
have one.
I told a story a while back about betrayal and how much it stings and how much it rubs me the wrong way. I didn't think I would count myself the third time. And remember, I told you in detail what happens to individuals who betray my good trust. Because I like to teach. I like to give chances. I think myself not the most evil man in the world, but I try to teach those who want to learn the trade I know. And you found yourself tangled in a rope, and you think yourself innocent because of your right and wrong doings.
I don't think I'm innocent.
Comes down to betrayal, though, boy.
Oh, here's something.
It's wild horses.
I'm going to make an example here that I have made in the past. My enemies know well.
Oh, you fucking... It ain't just about what happens after, Nikolai. This is about setting a precedent, an example. God. No deals, no names. Believe it or not, I don't enjoy this at all. Not one bit. I don't like good men going to waste.
I gave you an opportunity that you squandered, and you not only betrayed myself, but all these individuals here as well. And you only have yourself to blame, Nikolai.
No. You certainly are an architect of destruction.
This is the least you can do.
Oh.
I'm sure any one of us are capable of doing more, considering the tools at our dispense right here, Nikolai. Do you really want to taunt that?
Certainly finally growing some bullets right at the end.
Fucking loving.
No, I wish you had this attitude when you had a gun first pointed at your face, my Mason.
I have an idea, Johnny. You like to give a good beatdown, and I haven't seen you give a good beatdown in a while.
All right, stand up. This does not give me any pleasure. I'm very fucking unhappy. You stupid fuck. I really wish I could do more, but I want you conscious for the rest of this. You can take it from here, gents.
First thing I want you to do, sit back down. And I'm gonna make sure that you don't get back up.
Well, how's that feel, darling?
Just for fierce dick.
You should tie something around his thighs so he don't bleed out yet.
You are very fortunate. The doctor ain't going to do to you what he would have done. However, that ain't to say that we ain't lacking imagination like him. I'm gonna tell you something that I tell very few folk. The reason I don't tell very many folk is because I don't like people to know what I can do until they're on the chopping block. Now, seeing as you are on the chopping block, I think I can let you in. I've killed many people before, in many different ways. A lot of which haven't been quick and haven't been painless.
I've probably killed more than any of you in this room.
All for what? You're still dying like a pig being slaughtered. You could have been so much more. I am very disappointed.
As am I.
You could have been something instead of a worthless fucking rat.
It's so sad to watch the rat try to climb out of the bucket of his own blood.
What would the people back in Russia do with a traitor, Nikolai? Firing squad, I imagine, right?
Do you want to know? They take out their entrails, they drag the body by it, and slit the throat and throw it in the family's face.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's kind of
Then
like the
they'll
doctor.
cut out the heart and throw it at their family if they had one.
Well, since we sent a little piece of Miss Catherine, or at least what they thought was a piece of Miss Catherine, to the deputies,
You sure you want to do this? Doctor wanted him disappearing without a fucking trace.
perhaps if
You're
a
cool.
finger or two of yours were to reach your, what did you say, ex-wife?
No,
And maybe in
it
time,
doesn't need that.
He's got a brother as well.
once he or her comes of age, your unborn son or daughter can learn the story of what his father did and what it means to betray us.
Leave my fucking ex-fiancée out of it.
We're leaving your son out of it. Call that a favour. We got no beef with the ex-fiance either.
Now!
But stands to make a point.
How many figures is restitution enough for what happened?
I'd say 3, perhaps.
I was gonna go with 3 as well.
3.
1 for the first mistake. 2nd for the second mistake. And the 3rd for the 3rd and final mistake he's made.
This here will suffice. What? Two. Three. Consider yourself lucky that I didn't take your shooting hand. However, I very much doubt you'll be around long enough to use it again anyway. Now, I'm sure that I could keep these, send them as a message to your family, or to the cults, or to anybody that would even think of doing what you did with us. Maybe keep it as a souvenir to show those who might want to do business with us in the future what happens if they don't work the way we want them to work out. However, like I said, I'm not really one for souvenirs.
I think the blood loss has made him insane.
I get into this already.
I guess you want war.
You really think the cults are gonna go for war for someone they've just fucking taken in?
See, the difference between you and us in regards to the cults is that we are actually useful to them. You are not. You are just as much of a liability as you are to us to them. You talk. You talk too damn much whenever it conveniences you. And so we are doing them somewhat of a public service in this regard.
That's not what they think.
Well, I suppose we'll find out.
I guess so.
I imagine he's become a mind reader on his delusions here then.
Very confident all of a sudden.
Well, if only you were just like this the whole time, eh, mate? Funny what a little bit of torture can do. You had this attitude the whole time, you wouldn't be in this situation. Do you understand?
Suddenly you fucking found your minerals.
You can threaten war, you can threaten retribution, but at the end of the day, you put yourself in this situation, no one else. What the fuck are you doing?
Do we
Waving that gun around.
put them against the wall?
I think it's about time we take care of and finish this here. I think our business is concluded.
Who wants to do it?
All of us.
Firing squad.
Fire well. Fucking cocksuckers!
Good night, Mr. Nicola. Better luck on the other side. We give a count, perhaps, so we have all a fair start then.
Good luck.
3, 2, 1.
Game over.
All right.
Such a waste.
All right.
Shit.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Living up to your name.
That's game over.
Does the doctor want the body? Alright. That
That's
concludes our
right.
business then.
That it does.
We'll be in touch for the next job. The heist I was
Sure
telling
we
you
will.
about.
What you writing there, Miss Catherine?
Just a little note for him. I'm gonna put this in his little pocket here.
Alright. Let's get a move on then.